Rice Around the World by Katherine Pinson. Vocabulary: agribusiness. Commercial agriculture characterized by the integration of different steps in the food processing industry. Agricultural revolution, the time when human beings first domesticated plants and animals and no longer relied entirely on hunting and gathering. Agriculture, a deliberate effort to modify a portion of the earth's surface through the cultivation of crops and the raising of livestock for sustenance and economic gain. Cereal grain, a grass that yields grain for food. Chaff, husks of grain separated from the seed by threshing. Combine, a machine that reaps, threshes, and cleans the grain while moving over a field. Commercial agriculture, agriculture undertaken primarily to generate products for sale off of the farm. Crop, any plant gathered from a field as a harvest during a particular season. Dietary energy consumption, the amount of food that an individual consumes, measured in kilocalories. Double cropping, harvesting twice a year from the same field. Food security, physical, social, and economic access at all times to safe and nutritious food sufficient to meet dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. Grain, seed of a cereal grass. Green revolution, rapid diffusion of new agricultural technology. Intensive subsistence agriculture, a form of subsistent agriculture in which farmers must expend a relatively large amount of effort to produce the maximum feasible yield from a parcel of land. Paddy, the Malay word for wet rice, commonly but incorrectly used to describe a sawa. Plantation, a large farm in tropical and subtropical climates that specializes in the production of one or two crops for sale. Prime agricultural land, the most productive farmland. Reaper, a machine that cuts cereal grain standing in a field. Sawa, a flooded field for growing rice. Subsistence agriculture, agriculture designed primarily to provide food for direct consumption by the farmer and his family. Thresh, to beat out grain from the stalks. Undernourishment, dietary energy consumption that is continuously below the minimum requirement for maintaining a healthy lifestyle and carrying out light physical activity. Wet rice, rice planted on dry land in a nursery and then moved to a deliberately flooded field to promote growth. History of rice. For thousands of years, rice has fed more people than all other crops. Rice originated anywhere from Southeast Asia to South China to the Ganges River. Rice on a global scale. Rice consumption mainly occurs in Asia. It also takes place as one of the largest planting acreage occupying crops. In 1998, global rice production was 596.5 million tons. All of this was produced in 155 million hectares. All of these hectares add up to equal over 100 major rice-growing regions and 112 rice-growing countries. The major rice-growing countries are Thailand, the U.S., Pakistan, Vietnam, and India. In the U.S., the major rice-growing states are Arkansas, Louisiana, California, Mississippi, Missouri, and Texas. Despite many different rice-growing regions, Asia produces 90% of the world's rice with intensive commercial farming. In most Asian countries, rice farming gets them money or food, but in developed countries, it is an agribusiness. Biology. Rice also has various other purposes once processed, such as polish for expensive jewelry, infant formula, main components for face powder, and making soap. These are just a few examples. Even rice scraps can be used for making things. Hopefully more purposes can be found in the future as a result of scientists improving the gene pool by breeding indica and japonica. But right now we will just have to stick with Oryza sativa, the most used cultivated species. A benefit of having many different kinds of rice is that they can be grown in many conditions. Nutrients. Rice offers 23% of the global human per capita energy and 16% of the global per capita protein. Rice also has no cholesterol. It is also made up of starch and fibers, not to mention multiple kinds of vitamins that aid your brain and heart. Problems. In order to sustain Asia in the future, rice production must be increased by 1/3. As a result of selective breeding, genetic erosion has started to occur. Water pollution affects many rivers and lakes, which are water sources for certain developing countries. Also, I'm sorry for the horrible audio.